All right, guys, a little quick break from the trailer. We're going to try to get these sideboard supports for the dump truck done. I've got them marked out. Already got one done. I used as a template to mark this one out using my overgrown drill press. Let's see if we can get her fired up. So this is our phase converter. It is a K Industries Phase Master. We bought this thing used from a radio tower that they had it set up for their backup in case the power went down. They could, or I'm not sure what they said it was a backup, but I'm not sure why. But it's starting to pick up some rust out here, but it still works good. This is our switch, throws a relay in here. Just sort of show you how the setup works. So this switch fires this contactor, 2 fuses, wires are 2 phases down. And you can tell when it starts, it's going to put a big load on the system because it's slow starting. And there she goes, fired up, 3-phase power. Mostly 3-phase power. Alright guys, that was 3 holes. I got 3 more to do. I use a light 10 weight or 30 weight oil, depending on which I got, whatever I got laying around to throw in the can, and we'll jump into time lapse and bust the rest of these out. Alright, so I got all 6 drilled in this one. I got 4 more to knock out. It's a pretty good drill. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick. So I'm going full size 3/8 bit, but it makes pretty quick work of it. Pry bar holding up the end of this plate. This cutter is actually wider than the plate, just barely, or about the same width. So it's the diameter of the cutter I need for the light bar, though, or for the lights. Cut almost all the way through a plate. Yes, you can. So I'll basically just weld this seam as much as, probably won't even weld through there, won't weld through here. I'll just weld the, and this is where the light grommets will fit into the tube. Alright guys, you can watch me try to hoist this tube up on this brick board. I'm sure it'll be fun. All right, guys, got her laid out. I'll get her centered up here. That looks pretty good. We'll punch our holes in, got them marked out. I'm gonna cheat down to the bottom just a little bit because it don't hurt. Got plenty of room for the bottom of the light. Plenty of room down here. I'm gonna actually cheat down just a fudge more. That'll work. And I got this marked about on a 6-inch spacing. Come up with a different plan. Alright, let's try this again at a much slower speed. I got into the top pulleys and adjusted them down. I'll show you that at the end. Oh yeah, much better. This chuck setup necessarily. This chuck's good for fine drilling. Probably going too hard on it, really. So I'm gonna take it off. So the belt, 4 pulleys up here. That controls your speeds. This is your brake. And then up here, there's just a nut, which is the drawbar. Loosen it just a little bit. It'll be threaded into this tool. Give it a little tap. Unscrew it, slide right out. And that's what your taper tool looks like that slides into the... I can't even think of what that is off the top of my head. Somebody will know. All I know is it's an R8. Off the top of my head. Now this thing has been sitting out for a long time. It is dirty. Under no circumstances do you want to shove a dirty tool up inside your spindle. Good clean paper towel. Clean this thing up. Tighten down the drawbar, which draws the tapers together. with the brake, with the pull, the wrench, and we're in business. Back to drill. And just for reference, you can see the 4 holes. I moved the belt up to the top pulley. This little knob here loosens the motor. There's another one on the other side so that you can easily pop the motor loose and change pulleys. But I just brake. Check loose. This is pretty hard turning here. Yeah, it's hard on chucks. did the last little bit running the table with this. Alright, let's see if we can index the table over to our next position. Good meat. All right, 2 more holes. Time lapse it. I hope that time lapse caught that. Would have been better if I was actually drilling, I guess. Catastrophic fail. We took some teeth off this 2.5-inch cutter and snapped the shank on it. Sort of the aggravation getting right down to the bottom. You start getting these openings in the steel that the teeth can get down into and hang, and that just messes them up, something awful. Looks like I owe my dad a new 2.5-inch cutter with his hole saw. Although we might still be able to use that. There ain't no using that anymore. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Ain't drilled through yet, but she's getting close. It's a good thing I got multiple of these. We bought a fair amount of hole saw kits over the years, or even individual hole saws, and they come with the adapters. I'm gonna put this 2.5er back to work because it's all I got. I'm gonna try to be easy on it. As easy as I can be. I'm sure it won't be happy with missing teeth, but see how she does. Negative. Broke one for YouTube. Like I said, I got multiple of them, luckily. The old Bridgeport doesn't mind snapping them. On to another plan. We'll try this again because I'm not real smart. Alright guys, what did we learn? I think there's still maybe a piece of hole saw stuck right in there. Don't put too much downforce on the hole saw. The Bridgeport is not kind to the hole saw. So even the half-toothed one Even with half the teeth gone, it still cut pretty good. Carnage went through 2 of these. Yep. Sheared that sucker off like I wasn't even thinking. This one sheared real easy. It's kind of a cheapie. I think this is an Irwin brand. This was a Milwaukee brand, I believe. Let's see. Warrior brand, actually, is what that one says. Yeah, Warrior. It does have another bit in here, but we'll have to replace this thing. So, Warrior brand did pretty good. Irwin snapped right out of the gate, but again, it was tough on it. See if I can give this one. This one was starting to pop, which is typically when they broke. So it should be cut almost all the way through. And at the end, I realized I got to go real slow with this, feeding that thing in there, keep it from snagging. And it's not the way hole saws are set up. They're just not always, to get these 2 dog pins to engage, they just don't, they're not super tight. So see if I can pop this sucker out of here. It definitely dropped down, so it's moving. Good pop with a hammer when it's off here. We'll have that thing out. Alright guys, got the tube moved. I'm using the engine hoist to support the end of it because I don't have much hanging on the table here. This is the hole saw that we trashed, 2.5 inch. We are pretty well able to finish up our 2 holes. This one's mostly done. I think I can bop it out with a hammer once it's on the floor. So that hole saw is toast. Way over there on the trailer, there's another one, brand new replacement, same brand, Harbor Freight Warrior. I'll say it did pretty good. Now we're really going to put the test. 4.5 inch. Can she do it for the big 4-inch lights that go in the back of the bumper? I can already see that clamp is not going to work. It's going to have to skate down, but I will get to that in a second, and we'll be set up to do some drilling. All right, let's see what we got. Chatter. See what we can do to tighten this thing up. I'm gonna run with the dogs out, just threads, see how she does. aggressive. She hung up and stripped the threads of this saw. So we have to go back to the dry pins. It is a lot tighter because it is threaded on all the way, so hopefully this will go. It'll show up on camera or not, but it took the threads out of the hole saw. Looks like the arbor survived. It lives to see another day. Still, Hercules hole saws, I'll give them a thumbs up. It's pretty hard stuff. Alright guys, so what are my thoughts on Hercules hole saws? I think for the money you can't hardly beat them. It's a big 4.5 inch saw. Yeah. 4.5 through 1/4 inch tube steel. Didn't hurt the teeth. I actually think it does better than the smaller saw, because with the same amount of pressure you get a lot more teeth here. It doesn't tend to bite in with the same amount of pressure. The smaller the saw, the more careful you have to be. Fewer teeth. You can really wedge these down in the steel and start breaking stuff. As you can see, I did. Broke 2 arbors, sheared them smooth off, and hung the teeth bad enough to actually take the teeth off of this saw. But I'm not going to say that's the whole saw's fault. That was my inexperience. I've never drilled anything. I've never used a Bridgeport like that. These aren't really made for a Bridgeport. For this kind of application, that thing way overpowers these. But having never done it, this was a bit of a learning experience right here. Go real light on the down feed. Because you can down feed pretty hard and these things will cut pretty aggressively. But once they hang, they're done. So I would recommend them for anybody needing to cut big holes at a decent tolerance. They're not going to be a great tolerance. This one, the way the arbor is lined up, the threaded hole just did not line up with the drive holes, so I didn't get the pin in. And when you lined it up with the pins, it was a bit sloppy and really chattering, so I just let it thread all the way in and let the threads take the loading. And it did good through about 3.5 holes. 4th hole, it finally hung up enough, it stripped the threads out of the saw, but not a big deal. Still threads on tight. Even though the threads are stripped, it still goes on good enough that it holds it in centered, and now you can get the drive pins in. So still a good hole saw, even though the thread's mostly stripped out of it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Torturing the Bridgeport a little bit in these hole saws.